So you were in the video for 2Pac's How Do You Want It?
Yes.
What, and it wasn't just you, it was you, Nina Hartley, Angel Kelly?
Angel Kelly.
Okay.
Me, Nina Hartley, Angel Kelly. God, it was such a blur. It was so long ago. Those are all the people I remember. You know, it was amazing.
Okay. And this was, you know, when Tupac was with Death Row.
Right.
At his height, pretty much. You know, this was off All Eyes on Me.
Right.
So how did you and the other girls get in that video?
So funny. You know, all these years, I really don't talk much about Tupac. I mean, that was a dear friend of mine. I get kind of, you know, it's happening again. I get kind of choked up. I could at least say, because I'm such a private person, you know what I mean? I could at least say that he contacted me and he wanted me to be in his video, you know what I mean? He was like, please come out to LA. You know, he really wanted me to come back to LA for good because I was back in New York. And he had all these dreams of things that he was planning to do, you know? And knowing, you know, if you know Pac, he can inspire you to, you know, it's ridiculous. So I was like, okay, I'll come out of, because I really wasn't doing much. So I was like, okay, I'll come do the music video. And when I got there, then I found out Nina, Angel, and everybody else was part of it. Ron Hightower was actually directing it. It went from a clean video to like, okay, let's turn this into X-rated, you know? So it happened right there on the spot. So everything was happening so spontaneously. You know, of course, to me, he was the highest paid. That was the highest paid man that paid us, you know, in music video history at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, he tripled our salary at that moment.
Do you remember how much you got paid?
I'm not going to say.
It was nice, though.
I'm not going to say. But it was incredible. All I remember was a lot of champagne, and it was just like a fantasy. It was really everything that you could imagine, at least the things that I create, you know, on my everyday, you know, fantasies, you know. Mm-hmm. It was amazing.
Right, and Jodeci is on that song also,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, they did the hook. Okay, K-Ci and JoJo.
K-Ci and JoJo was there. Mm-hmm. Right.
So you guys do the video, and originally it was supposed to be just a regular video, and then it turns into an X-rated. Well, I guess an R-rated.
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 Yeah, it turned into R-rated. Yeah.
The actual sex going on. There was an interview with Nina Hartley.
Right.
Well, I guess an interview or a statement or something like that. And she said the best part of doing the How Do You Want It video was the private party I had with Tupac, Heather, and Angel Kelly after the last day of shooting.
Yeah, it was a nice party. But you know, back to, you know, everybody who was there, I always tell, you know, people tell their stories, you know what I mean? Just like Nina expressed her story, her experience, and Angel expressed her experience the way they did. You know, my experience is something I hold sacred. He was really a close, dear person to me. So, you know, just like anybody I hold close and dear, I respect things, at least to me, that was sacred. You got to hold on to something. I keep saying it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's the party, all I really can, once again, express that the party was amazing. The after party was incredible, you know?
Good.
And it inspired me to move back to LA. He inspired me to come back to LA.
Oh, so after that video, you moved back to LA?
Yeah.
So.
And I moved back to LA, and then he, I think 3 or 4 months later, he passed away. Yeah.
You and Tupac were romantic?
I would say more like a spiritual, it was everything, you know what I mean? I can't, you know, don't let me go there. Every time I talk about him, I get choked up. I just feel like he really put himself into this hole that he couldn't get out of, you know? So I really feel like he was misunderstood.
A hole that he couldn't get out of, meaning what, when he signed a death row, or?
Just, you know, I think back to being an entertainer, you have this image that you have to be something more than really that you are. You know, when you close your door, you go home. People don't see that person. And I think that was part that people really need to see about him.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the greatest rappers of all time, you know, some people will say Biggie, but most people end up saying Tupac.
Right.
And
Biggie was amazing in his own right, too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think that what Tupac had that Biggie didn't have is like the thing that Bob Marley had, which was the social message
Right.
to go along, and just the actual, you know, like actually caring about what happens to, you know, the group of people that he represents and the society and everything else like that. You know, and I interviewed, you know, Kamani Marley, and he agreed, you know, he felt that Tupac was sort of, you know, the closest thing to Bob Marley, to his father, in terms of what he put out in the world.
Right.
You know, and you just, like, you haven't really seen that since, not in the hip hop world at least.
No, it's really hard, you know, but at the same time, it's like the hip hop, you know, you have this, back to that image, it's the image you have to, it comes with hip hop. You know, I don't care how much of your heart is gold, you know, you gotta put this bulletproof vest on. It's just what it is. If you don't, it's a visible one, but you gotta put it on, you know, if you wanna be out into that street and survive in that game, you know, because that game, it brings a lot of different elements into it, you know? So, yeah, when literally, to this day, when I talk about Pac, it's very hard for me.
How did you, like, what did you go through when you first heard about the murder? It was more like, you know, everything stops, you know, when, you know, time stops when people that you care about pass away. You know, just like today, you know, after this, I have to go to Big Cap's funeral. It's a dear friend of mine. Oh, that's today?
Yes, today. So I leave here to go to his funeral.
That was my friend too.
Yeah, he's you know, and people don't know that, you know, people are like, how are you friends with Cap? But people don't understand. It's just life, you know, so yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to even continue with Tupac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great loss.
Yeah, but he's still here. He really is. To at least affect me and other people that really cared and he loved, you know, he's still here.
Yeah, and you know, you can't really turn on the radio for too long without hearing him.
No.
And
no, I think at my funeral they're gonna be playing "How Do You Want It."
they're actually working on the movie right now.
Oh wow! Yeah, I know about the movie. Yeah. Very, you know, John Singleton was that's a dear friend of mine. He was actually was going to direct that, but I think he pulled out of it.
Yeah,
you know?
Benny Boom is directing it now, and L.T. Hutton is one of the executive producers of it. You know, me and him talked recently.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, I'm just glad someone's telling the story, you know. But I think the story should be told in so many ways, you know. I really hope that John puts his out, you know. I think, you know, just like there's so many stories on every other legend that's out there, I think we should have more Tupac movies, you know, represent his story, you know, in different ways. I mean, really, besides documentaries, you know. But, yeah, you know, hip-hop, you know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, just the music industry, just as entertainers, it's really it's a hard game, you know. That's why I kind of respect, there's people that actually respect out there, you know. When you look at Kanye West, you look at Kim Kardashian, you know, you, like I said, you have to be bulletproof. You know what I mean? You get out here in this game, it's not about what the people feel, it's about what you want to put out, and it doesn't matter what they say. You know what I mean? It can't affect you. Mm-hmm. It really can't. You know, at the end of the day, you know who you are. So, you know, and that's how I lived my whole life, and it's worked for me, you know. And I'm very successful as minding my own business, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm really good at that.